Hello and welcome back to Let's Play UnderRail Expedition with me, BringItDon. So between last episode and this one, I've spent a lot of time trying to fix my audio issues. They should be okay. You might notice a few changes in the sound. Probably just me being quieter. It seemed to be a gain issue, so turning that down as much as I could seemed to fix it. But anyway, we're on our way to the Abyssal Station. Abyssal Station Zero, I believe is the full name. Which means we have to go this way. No, I need to go diagonal here. I want to avoid the pirates. So I feel like I mostly fixed my audio for the last episode, but I can still hear it kind of like peaking. Like my voice was too loud for the microphone. I'm really hoping I fixed it because it was bugging me. So let's see if I guess I go down here. Yeah, let's do it this way. So the submarine should be, or the submersible should be waiting for us at the Alamco station. I guess I could just cut across right there instead of... Oh well. They're going back now. So I just go straight back. Perfect. Alright. We journey to the last mystery the Black Sea holds for us. Alright, I guess we'll just dive. Verifying coordinates, done. Performing thruster capability test, passed. Pinging subnav units, 0 units responded, that's not good. Obtaining gyro compass information, done. Plotting course, done. Vessel is ready to dive to Abyssal Station Zero, CC 020-476-118-263-2115. Also, I like how quiet the game is. You can hear like a faint humming, as if you were inside the submersible itself, but this is cool. It's a cool effect. You glimpse faint, gloomy shapes of sunken vessels and debris around you before descending into darkness. The walls are getting closer. You're descending into a gorge of some kind. What was that? You stare outside. You see a blue light on one of the walls, a beacon. The space around you expands again. That's a little intimidating. I didn't see what my guy said there. You see another beacon. Come on. Another beacon. The station must be close. How would I know that? How would I know how many beacons? Can I just exit? Sounds like we made it. Alright, thank you, game, for taking that precaution for me. A LOX tank. A liquid oxygen tank with a few cryo canisters next to it. They all appear to be powered and functioned, maintaining the low temperature necessary for oxygen to remain in liquid form. Hello? Oh, this is really cool. I really like destitute deep sea facilities. One of my favorite areas in Knights of the Old Republic was when you go to Manan, you get down to the, well, spoilers, I guess. When you go down to the underwater base. It reads on the side, elevator control console. It is, however, out of order. I'm not going to touch the gate control yet. I have 9 agility. Alright, let's touch this gate control. It's not responding, so we probably have to resupply power to the facility. Pesticide. Fusing enzyme. I'll grab those. Alright, so that's the gate we need to get inside of, right? Yeah. Dockmaster. The deep sea water globe that we will never do anything with. I'm not going to touch that computer yet. Strongman. It's dead. There's a gaping hole in its chest, apparently made by a plasma projectile. Static, firelight, static. Or firefight, static. Static, sub-islander, static. Static, elevator, static. Static, danger, static. Static, most sorry, static. Inconvenience, static. Static, danger, static. Okay. Yeah, we don't have the dexterity for that. We'll never have the dexterity for that. Residential 1, Residential 2, Power R&D. Manufacturing, Residential 2. Alright, let's go back and check out this console before we, or the computer, before we continue deeper into the station. Lemco LC387, welcome P. Bridges. Unable to connect to ASIN. Only local data is available. Cargo traffic log. Alright, let's see. Research and Development Dome, Manufacturing Dome, Residential Dome 1, Aquaponics Dome, Research and Development Dome, Manufacturing Dome, Residential Dome 1, Aquaponics Dome, Manufacturing Dome. Cool. Alright, summon available strongman. No available strongman detected. The request has been placed in a queue. Contact active security supervisor. Still no active security supervisors detected. Okay. So I think that was just telling us all the different locations down here in the Abyssal Station. These doors are hard to spot. They blend in well with the walls. Residential 1, Residential 2, Power, R&D, Manufacturing, and Residential 2. Alright. Whoa, what is that? What is that? Why is Todd? What is that? Scared the crap out of me. What are you doing here, Todd? You jerk. That scared the crap out of me. I didn't know if that was in the game or not. Do I need to chase him down? Let's chase him down. Where'd you go, Todd, you jerk? Scaring people like that. I found him. He observes you with caution, panting heavily while at the same time trying to be as still as possible. He takes his time with his greeting. Hi. Hi. It takes him some time to respond. Hi. Oh no, he's retarded. I never thought I'd find anyone alive down here. He thinks long about your question. I am alive. Who are you, anyway? He pauses. Todd. My name is Todd. He pauses yet again. Todd Newman. He thinks about his follow-up. Nice to meet you, mister. Is there anyone else? I feel like this should be the priority. Is there anyone else down here, Todd? Down. He looks down. No one. Here there are two families living here. The Newmans and the Ovenders. Or Oivenders. Without warning, his tenor voice turns into a high-pitched hoarse falsetto. Todd, who are you talking to? Then it drops into a bassy rumble. By the depths, what is all this commotion? He pauses. Who is this person? Who is this person, boy? Tenor. Oh, mother. Father. This is, outsider. He came from... Bass. From the outside? Is it from the outside? Speak. Hoarse falsetto. It's a man. Bass. Leave it, Shelley. A woman wouldn't make a difference anyway. The boy's useless. Hoarse falsetto. Angus, don't draw attention to it in front of the visitor. Bass. Who gives a darn, woman? If only we had more children, Shelley. Many children. Then we could afford a failure or two. Tenor. Mother? Father? Not in front of Mr. Outsider, please. Why, sniffs. Why do you always have to be so mean to me? Why? 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 Bass. Shut up, you sniveling idiot. Shut up. Can I say something? Bassy falsetto. No. Bass. Listen to me. You stop talking to this person this instance. This instance. And return to your exercise. You got that, boy? You got that? Hoarse falsetto. You listen to your father now, Todd. And don't forget to eat the nutrient bars I prepared for you. Tenor, through tears. Yes, mother. Father. He clears his throat, clearly hurt by the insane acrobatics his vocal cords have endured. I'm sorry, mister. I have to go. Exercise. Wait. Why do you have to exercise? He jogs away. Okay, I got him locked down. Let's explore this area and see what's going on here. How the heck did he get out of there? I locked both the doors. Okay, I can't talk now. I have to exercise. Hey, do you have a microchip implant in your hand? His eyes give you the answer as soon as he looks at his outstretched right hand. I hear Father coming. I have to go. I have to exercise. May I speak to your parents? He responds hesitantly. I'll ask. He closes his eyes, and the first moments pass in silence. A few twitches ripple across his face, but then he smiles. You wait a while longer until he opens his eyes. They're with the oi vendors, but they say you can join them, Mr. Outsider. Will you be with us? No, I have to exercise. Lead the way then, or however you want to do this. You wait a few more moments before a voice addresses you. Baritone. Ah, Mr. Outsider. So you're the visitor the Newmans have been telling us about. Gentle falsetto. Yes, the one the Newmans have been telling us about. I'm the Invictus, or Invictus. Hoarse falsetto. Mr. Invictus? Yes, Mr. Invictus. Baritone. Stig Oivender. Gentle falsetto. Asta? Asta Oivender? Our daughter Sineva couldn't be present. Hoarse falsetto. Ah, yes. We're Shelley and Angus Newman. Welcome. We apologize about, what you heard during our first encounter, Mr. Invictus. Bass. Yes. We're sorry if the boy did something embarrassing. He's an imbecile. Hoarse falsetto. Angus. Forgive our son, Mr. Invictus. He's been doing plenty of exercise lately. We all make mistakes when tired. Isn't that right, Angus? Isn't that right? Bass. Crumbles. Baritone. So where are you from exactly, BringItDon? Let's just say Southgate Station. All voices answer as simultaneously as Todd's vocal apparatus allows. Another station? Where is that? Oh. Hoarse falsetto. Do tell us more about the outside. Sure, but first, how much do you actually know about the outside? What's there to know, Mr. Invictus? There's nothing but filthy water. Baritone. Presumably our guest is wondering if we know about what's above all of that water, beyond what we can see through our windows or have been told by our grandparents. Bass. Ah, that. Well. Wait, don't you have pictures or any kind of data from the past? Baritone. Not as much as we'd like. A long time ago there was a great energy emission that wiped out almost all the data from the central database. Documents, pictures, video files. Gentle falsetto. Barely anything survived. Yeah, I just realized I could probably be voice acting this, but since I didn't start voice acting, I'm not gonna start now. Baritone. Barely. So we rely on the few bits that survived the Great War. The aforementioned emission, the disunion, and everything up until now. We rely on those and artistic renditions of what things might be like outside. Well, how do you imagine the outside then? Hoarse falsetto. I like to think all this water is in a large room. Room so large you could spread your arms and run around and not bump into anything. And there's a tower in the middle. A tower with a blue light at the top. I saw that in a painting. Well, maybe Biocore destroyed it, but then again, maybe they didn't. She sighs. Biocore destroys everything. Bass. I don't know. My father told me there's no ceiling above the water, but just one big empty. Baritone. What would you see when you look up? Bass. Nothing. All black, I think. Some people were talking about... Yeah, I remember it clearly. They were talking about there being a big natural light up there, dome-sized, even bigger. But that ought to be the light on the tower Shelley mentioned. It ought to be. We all know from experience that if you want light, you have to make a light source. Light doesn't just shine out of nothing. Baritone. With that, I can agree. Hoarse falsetto. I just realized we never actually discussed anything like this before. How exciting. Asta, what do you think is up there? Gentle falsetto. Almost everything is water, and on the water there are stations. Some are under the water, but most are above. Your people like stations above water, while we, sub-islanders, like stations underwater. Baritone. Explains the physiological differences between our two people. Besides, we know that sub-islanders came from Atlantis to Lemuria many years ago before moving here. Bass. It does make sense. Baritone. As for the question of how do we imagine the world above, There is some land there, we know that. Islands. These bits of land are called islands. There are stations there too. In general, people live in stations. It's warm, safe from whatever creatures live outside. Base. Has to be cold outside. I can't imagine the size of heaters. Yeah, the size of heaters it would take to warm up that kind of space. Horse falsetto. And it's probably unsanitary. Yig. Okay, she shivers. I never let Todd touch anything unclean. He catches all sorts of things. But he is a good boy, and he listens when I tell him to wash his hands or take a bath. Base. You're overreacting, Shelley. Horse falsetto. It's his immunity. You want him to get ill, Angus? Do you? Baritone, interrupting the arguing pair. Mr. Invictus, how about you tell us what it's really like outside? Horse falsetto. Oh yes, please. Alright, up there. They silently wait for your response. Okay, I'm just reading through all this to see which one I think would be the best. Yeah, I'm going to say the third option. There's a large doming cavern above the sea, but there's also plenty of land. The land is populated by various groups of people, fighting each other all the time. Soldiers, pirates, savages. Savages. Fascinating. Oh my. They stare at each other in silence, processing what you've described to them until one of them speaks. Base. By the depths. That's unimaginable. Horse falsetto. Life is so dangerous outside, and I can't imagine how unclean it must be. The Waybenders remain silent, looking at each other from time to time. How do I know that they're looking at each other, though it's all coming from Todd? Is he just like turning his head side to side? Horse falsetto. Oh, I'd like to see the outside. But then she looks around. But it's safer here. Much safer and cleaner. Now everyone is silent and completely lost in their imagination. Who exactly are the Sub-Islanders? I'd like to know more about you. Base. Well, we'll go first if the Oybenders don't mind. Where to start? We're descended from the Lemurians, which, obviously, found their refuge here. Refuge from Biocore. He utters it with undiluted hatred, clenching his fists and scowling in the process. Horse falsetto. The Newmans were reputable architects, you see. They were the ones who designed Lemuria, and Theodore Newman was the last technology minister. A powerful man who, surely would have become the prime minister if things hadn't turned out the way they did. Meanwhile, I'm a direct descendant of the great composer Kurt Ryluck. Base. Yes. Although there aren't many family names left anymore. As my father used to say, make sons unless you want your last name extinct. He even laughs basily, but then his spirit wanes as his predicament comes into mental foreground. Baritone. A fate which befell most Sub-Islanders. Most of our family names were lost due to old family name inheritance laws. Gentle falsetto. Completely lost. Horse falsetto. Yes, but our family name has, survived to this day. And so did yours. Baritone. To this day. Base. Okay. Are you really the only ones here? No servants to help you? Baritone. Our two families are the only ones here. Gentle falsetto. The only ones. Base. Most servants were destroyed during the disunion, and we had no means of replacing certain components for the ones that remained operational. I do manage to activate a strongman from time to time, and when need be, but they don't last very long, and I have to mix and match working components between them. Horse falsetto. Yes. We, used to have a modded handmaiden, Maud. She had some strongman parts, but only interior. She acted as a nanny of sorts for Todd and Senna, you see, when they were little. Just watched over them and did simple tasks. Base. Maud. The old gal is still around, but I had to deactivate her after she malfunctioned. Horse falsetto. Oh, don't remind me, Angus. Don't. Todd couldn't sleep for a week. Base. You see, Mr. Invictus, strongman power is similar yet different to the handmaid. Horse falsetto. Angus. Do not bring us back to that unpleasant moment, especially not in front of our guests. Who exactly are the Sub-Islanders? Baritone. We are. Gentle falsetto. That'd be us, the Oivenders. Baritone. We're the last of our people in Lemuria. Me, my wife, and our daughter Sineva. Hoarse falsetto. Cinna. I guess I wish after you introduce them, just say their names. So, in case you're not following along, the bass is Mr. Newman. The falsetto is Mrs. Newman. Hoarse falsetto is Mrs. Oivender, and the baritone is Mr. Oivender. So this would be Mrs. Oivender. Cinna. Ah, sweet, sweet child. Our daughter-in-law. So, Mr. Newman, appearing as though he wanted to say something else but changes his mind instead. The Sub-Islanders came to Lemuria way before the Great War. We've been together since. Baritone. Yes. Our numbers were modest in the beginning. We came from Atlantis, a station that is said to be in a place called the North, in the direction of the docking dome, but way beyond it. Why did the Sub-Islanders come here? Baritone. Our people were adapted to living conditions the native Lemurians were not. The conditions you witness here. We don't need much room, much light, much movement. Gentle falsetto. The station was built with us in mind. As much like Atlantis, the senior Sub-Islanders used to say. Baritone. Sub-Islanders were perfect for working here and helping the Lemurian community. We performed mining duties, technology research, and along the way, maintained our culture, which survived the integration, that is. We did live separately from the native Lemurians until the Great War, though. Then, many years later, disunion happened. Hoarse falsetto. We greatly admire the Sub-Islanders. Language. Yes. Isn't that so, Angus? Oh, and I have to add that I've always envied Asta for her beautiful name. It sounds so open and bright. It's the two A's, one at the beginning and the other at the end. Sineva sounds gorgeous as well. Gentle falsetto. Thank you, Shelley. Everyone falls silent as discomfort in the air turns thick. Tell me about the disunion. Bass. It's a baritone. Separation of our two peoples. Unfortunately, a violent one. Baritone. After the Great War, most prominent native Lemurians arrived to Abyssal Station. Most ministers, their families, and everyone else who had been selected. All was well at the start. Biocor never found this location, and the natives integrated into the Sub-Islander population well. Gentle falsetto. Sub-Islander population. Baritone. There's no segregation, and the two peoples live together, room to room. There was one place where the natives didn't fit in. The Research and Development Dome had two sections. General Laboratory Section and Special Laboratory Section. The Special Laboratories performed highly advanced and specialized research. It was comprised of respected Atlantean researchers who preferred working their own way and didn't like the outsiders. Some of these are my great-grandparents. Everything I'm telling you now was passed down through the generations. Bass. That bloody lab. Nah, to the depths with it. Hoarse falsetto. Angus, do not interject. It's bad manners. Baritone. It didn't take long before arguments over the administration of the special laboratories and the direction of its research made all native scientists leave. As years went by, this spread to general laboratories as well. One can say these were the earlier signs of tensions between the Sub-Islanders and the natives. Gentle falsetto. And as years went by, the two peoples could coexist less and less. Baritone. The medical problems the native Lemurians suffered from by being incapable of living in confinement of the station. The resources necessary for medication. Special accommodation, and later even artificial means of reproduction. It became a growing problem. The condition itself, this was seen as a weakness in the eyes of the proud Atlantean Sub-Islanders, an obstacle to their and the station's future. Gentle falsetto. Weakness. Baritone. Most of these sentiments originated in the R&D Dome. There were disagreements even among the Sub-Islanders themselves. Some felt that the researchers took on views far too strange and in some ways, unreal. Their behavior changed as well. Their families who lived in the residential domes spoke worried about their beloved ones returning after days, weeks of absence to them with obsessions regarding our ancient Sub-Islander culture, about going outside, the future and the past, the hatred towards the native sickness. That is, while they were still returning. Hoarse falsetto with a trembling voice. Ugh. I don't even want to imagine it. Baritone. There was a moment in time when no one left the dome. All who went there stayed there. Thus the station was in a state of fear, and security was on high alert. Then, about a century ago, it happened. The gates to R&D opened, and armed sub-islanders, disunionists, started pouring out, dressed in clothes described only as horrifying. Gentle falsetto. They spoke in our old sub-islander language. My grandfather, a sub-islander historian, told me so himself, and he awarded this language the epithet bastardized. Base. The cafeteria was where the largest battle happened. These madmen wanted to kill everyone. Everyone. This dome. It was a massacre. Baritone. The disunionists killed their own family members who refused to join them, the ones they could reach. Those who survived managed to lock themselves in and defend the second residential dome and the one beyond, food processing and aquaponics. Power dome remained sealed as well. Gentle falsetto. The disunionists left for the outside through docking. They took the pre-war subspheres. Baritone. They left corpses and desolation behind them, and about 20 or so survivors, mostly native Lemurian, and about 3 disjointed sub-islander families, which would all later merge into Oivenders. Hoarse falsetto. There was of course some, unfriendliness in that time, and some regrettable things were done. We all got along well after that. Yes, yes. Base, shaking head. It's horrible, isn't it? Us, who were all born way, way after all that. We have nothing against sub-islanders. But our grandparents, they lived through it. They remembered it. There were beatings, murder, suicides. Hoarse falsetto. Angus, please. Let's not go into the details. It's all in the past. Please. Base. But it's the darn truth. The disunionists destroyed the things we needed to stay. Hoarse falsetto. Angus. Enough, enough, enough. Baritone. We better end it here. It is a difficult subject for all. Hoarse falsetto. Yes, yes. If you weren't our guest... Oh, well, yes. How about we speak about something more jolly? Yes. What do you all say? How did Lemuria get its name? All at once. It's a... silence. Well, you see... Base. By the depths. That's a tricky one. I think... yes. I think Lemuria means lost land. Maybe our ancestors rediscovered whatever it is up there which had been lost in the past. Hoarse falsetto. I believe it actually means sunken land. It makes more sense, seeing that we live underwater. Baritone. From my understanding, it is, in fact, a land, or island bridge. You must remember, Shelley, that life wasn't always submarine. The bridge could be a symbolic bridge between native Lemurians' old and new life here. Gentle falsetto. I think there's a kind of fish or a crustacean called lemur, or lemur. These either lived here when your ancestors first came, or were named so because they were bred by Lemurians themselves. All at once. Makes sense. Silence. Could be. Baritone. Ultimately, its meaning could be something from the ancient times, which has been lost along the way, like many other things. Alright, I'm going to call it here. In the next episode, we will ask about the acorn, or the aconner. And we'll try to talk to Todd again, now that we've introduced ourselves to his families. Or his family and the other family that lives down here. Alright, I have to leave you now. Hoarse falsetto. Mr. Invictus, excuse me. But why are you here exactly, if you understand? I'm looking for something called the acorn, spelled aconner. Do you know anything about it? Baritone. Acorn? No. Gentle falsetto. What is it? All I know is that it's a pre-Great War technology that's somehow connected to certain machines capable of traversing great distances, even reaching the surface. That's beyond outside. Hoarse falsetto. The surface? High technology. Angus? Base. I don't know anything about it, child. By the depths. If it's important, and if it's here, then it has to be the Research and Development Dome. Baritone. That's where all important technology was brought during the Great War. My ancestors were researchers in the dome, but I've never been told anything about this acorn. Gentle falsetto. It could have been taken during the disunion. Baritone. It is possible, or it might just have been forgotten. What do you intend to do if you find this acorn? Are you just going to leave and that's it? Hoarse falsetto. Are more outsiders going to come here? Oh, I'd have to clean up the dome. Gentle falsetto. What about us? Yeah, I want to take you with me. Bass. You mean outside? Baritone. Mr. Invictus, we cannot leave the station. Gentle falsetto. It is difficult to explain. Bass. Too late. Hoarse falsetto. But our children. You see, Todd and Cinna. Problems here. I mean, it's a different world. Outside. But maybe... Todd's facial expression no longer corresponds to a single character, and he falls silent. This lasts for a few moments as his stare slowly drops down. Hoarse falsetto. Yes. We'll discuss this later. Where were we? I was just leaving. Hoarse falsetto. We'll be here if you wish to speak with us. Nod politely. With pleasure. Farewell. Alright, so I'm going to call it here. Next episode we'll finish talking to Todd. I'll try to take any dialogue options I haven't taken yet, and then we'll continue to explore the Abyssal Station. Seems like there's more domes than what we've been in, so we have that first dome, which I guess is the docking dome. This looks like a residential area. Oh, okay, he can open the doors himself. What a jerk. Alright, anyway, I'm gonna call it here. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys. Actually, hold on. I just realized there's a bunch of volatile fuse boxes through here. I think we're gonna have to fight something that's in here. So it looks like you kite it around, maybe? So there's one up here, there's one here, I'm sure there's more. Well, anyway, I'm calling it here. Next episode we'll talk to Todd, and then we'll continue exploring. What you doing, Todd? Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next episode.